Morrison, the tornado warning continues, but right now the tornado threat has come down quite a bit. Tornadoes continue with an outbreak down in southeastern Oklahoma near Atoka County and the town of Atoka. Large tornado there, and between Hugo and Durant in far southeastern Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, there are no storms anywhere near the metro area right now. Kevin and Linda have a lot more from the news desk.
All right, Mike, thank you. We're going to show you some enhanced video of the damage near Hickory in southern Oklahoma.
What you're going to see to begin with, if we'll go ahead and roll that video, you're going to see dirt. And that dirt is where a home used to be. This storm that moved through that area was devastating. Its winds were estimated to be about 200 miles an hour. And you see that patch of dirt right there, the red dirt, that's where the home was. And you can see that the mobile home has been moved to what we perceive to be the north, to the top of your screen. But I really don't know what directions this was shot from.
Obviously near a pond, and a lot of the debris probably thrown in there as well. John Welsh in Bob Moore Chopper 4 is near the town of Katy, where we had a fatality earlier today. Just take John if we can right now. John?
John, tell us where you
guys,
are.
right now we're showing you we're at 1680 County Road 1680 in Indian Meridian here. It's going to be just south of Pauls Valley, and it's going to be about 4 miles southwest, southwest of the refinery out here. And you can just see this house is completely gone. Jack, if you'll just continue to pan down the path at this particular point is very easy to see. It looked like you took a grinder out here and took it across the ground. You can just see all the ripped up grass, the ripped up trees. It kind of just continues to snake its way on towards the to the east there. It stayed in a little bit of a low ground. You can see there's a lot of big hard that roadway right there, that little it's North Road 3280. You can just see those trees are just completely snapped off. To go to the east, there's another house that has some damage here. There's some barns just on the north side of this 1680 road that aren't damaged, and then there's some that are, some roof damage, and some that are completely crashed out. When we were coming back up from Sulphur, about six miles north of Sulphur on 177, that's where a lot of that other damage that we showed you earlier was. So the storm was really pretty decent size right here, and as it continues to track to the northeast, it just continued to get bigger and bigger, guys.
A remarkable view, though, to be able to see the signature that storm left in terms of the signature it left over plain dirt. And then, of course, when you see the structures like that, it makes you realize the strength it was carrying to be able to scour the ground like that.
And that's the word, scour, is exactly what it looked like. Let's go back and show you, John, thank you very much, as we continue to look at his video there of that tornado path. See what it did to those trees. Just snapped them in two. Those are big trees,
and look at the dirt it pulled out from under there.
And whatever, oh my goodness, whatever that used to be, an outbuilding or perhaps
you see
somebody's
the truck
home.
in the top right-hand corner of your screen? What a view that is. We've also got some photographs that came in earlier today from viewers who shot pictures around their home. This is near Shawnee, Oklahoma. That's one of those storms that came through. And if they weren't so destructive, they would be, in a very unusual sense, magnificent.
Well, they are certainly nature's power. As you're looking at it, they're nature's fury, and those are just the thunderstorms that get so big that produce these tornadoes. We continue to look at this. Is near Shawnee, and there were, of course, warnings in that area earlier today.
We had just a patchwork of tornadoes and twisters and warnings moving through the state from about 3 o'clock until just about 10 minutes ago when that storm left Stillwater. Again, here you're in Bethel Acres. Bryson, thank you for sending this in to us. And those storms just took unusual shapes all afternoon. They were huge storms, some said to be 200-mile-per-hour winds inside, hail, certainly about the size of a golf ball or larger. And they cover a width of approximately a mile in damage in some places.
If we're still getting video from John, there's that twister from Katy, Oklahoma, that turned out, we believe that's the one that turned out to be the deadly tornado, one fatality in Garvin County. And there you see it again, coming down from a different angle. John was showing you some of that damage from Bob Moore Chopper 4, but we'll continue to look at these pictures. For those of you who have not seen this video or these pictures, it's pretty astounding.
Let's go back to Chopper right now, because John, I think you can pick up where we left off, and that's just following that storm's path as you can see the redness of where it was opposed to the green. John?
Yes, I'm sorry, Linda. Chuck was talking to me. I didn't hear anything you said.
I was just saying that you've got a great view, because when we're on your wide shot, we could see the red path of the twister. You can see it coming up from the right side of our screen here. As it moved through that whole area, it just turns that red clay, and you can see it just leaves a path.
It does, and that shows you just how wide the ground contact was. So right here, you're looking at this is when the storm was actually still forming and not as big as it actually got when it crossed I-35 and continued out to the east. But you can just see the ground contact. We just landed at Pauls Valley Airport and got some gas, and one of the guys who was showing me the video that he took with his cell phone from this storm as it crossed down here just south of the airport, and it looked like a decent size like elephant trunk, funnel as it was continuing to cross this way. It got about a quarter mile from I-35 lifted, and then continued to drop. Then the storm continued to push to the east, and then it sat back down. But you can really see which makes it really easy to see where the storm went through and the width of the damage here, just with how it's just torn up the ground. And some of these spots, there's some decent sized grass that it just lifted up. Snap these big trees, and one of the things that tells, at least for me up here, at how strong these are, some of these trees are probably 18-20 inches in diameter, and they're just broken off halfway down. And a lot of these hardwood trees don't have a huge taproot to hold them into the ground, so they'll just continue to blow over. But if they snap halfway off, it tells me that that storm was very, very strong, and it went through there, and the wind was very intense as it was rotating and able to break them off there.
John, if Jack can zoom in a little bit on some of those trees you're talking about, it's a pretty wide shot right now on some of the tree damage there. You're talking about those big trees that were just snapped. That'll give the viewers a better idea of what you're talking about, the power of that storm.
Oh, I see the trees. Yeah, that's what you were talking about, isn't it, John?
Yeah, some of those, like that particular one right there on the top of your screen, that's going to be an oak tree, and you can just see that it didn't get pulled out of the ground. When some of these storms are going slower, they're not as strong, they'll just tend to kind of push the trees over. When they just kind of rip the trees up real quick and just pull the tops of them off, it just shows you just how fast that was spinning. Because if you'll come down in your screen just a little bit to the left, Jack, just keep coming down, you'll see a tree that's completely blown over. That's going to be on the outside of the storm, so the wind is actually what knocked that down. Right there to the right of the screen, we were showing you earlier just how the tops or the middle of the tree is just completely ripped up. That just shows you the speed and intensity of this wind as it continued to go across the ground here, guys.
John, I think the desk needs to talk to you for just a moment, so we're going to go away from you and check in with Kristen Shanahan, who's on the ground near Katy, Oklahoma, and she's been following the storm from there. And you spoke to the emergency management director a few minutes ago, who confirmed a fatality in that area.
He did. It's not where I'm at right now, but it is about 3 miles near here, and they're going to take us over there here in just a little bit. Right now, I'm at East County Road 1680 in Indian Meridian. I want you to take a look back here. There's some emergency vehicles. They have the road blocked off, and they're not letting us anywhere near the area where the homes were hit and destroyed, but I'm told there was a couple homes there. Thankfully, no one inside at the time. Again, we're about to head over to the other area where there was one fatality. I'm told an elderly gentleman was killed. His identity has not been released, but we're going to bring you more information as we get it.
We did get that information, Kristen. Thank you, that it was an elderly gentleman, one person in that home, they believe, at the time, and that was the fatality there in Garvin County that we told you about earlier. But emergency management crews are out right now checking all these areas that were hit. Again, you can tell a lot of it was rural areas, but a lot of folks live in rural areas in Oklahoma, so they're checking those homes.
And Mike was reporting that all of the activity in our viewing area has stopped. There is no one in danger at this point, although some of our friends in Atoka and southeastern Oklahoma are still experiencing severe tornado damage right now. So we'll continue to follow their plight as well.
I believe we have Marianne Rafferty in the newsroom standing by with some information. Is that right? Let's see if we can go to Marianne. I believe she has some new information for us. Okay.